Welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, that's right, you see the beautiful crown, the beautiful smile. This is Miss Louisiana, Gracie Reichman.
Hello.
And she is a part of the America system. There's
Yes,
actually two. We're going to talk about the difference between the USA pageant and the America pageant.
Yeah.
Let's kind of jump into that really right quickly before we get to know who Gracie is.
Absolutely.
What is the difference between the two systems?
Yeah, so as Miss Louisiana, part of the Miss America organization, this organization is the largest provider for scholarships for young women across the nation. So as Miss Louisiana, I've competed in this organization since I was 12, and now I will graduate with my undergraduate degree completely debt-free, all from the scholarships from this organization. So that's the biggest difference, but also in addition to the phases of competition, the Miss America system has a talent portion of competition and no swimsuit. This year, you heard it here first, they're bringing back the fitness competition, but they're no longer wearing swimsuits. And then the USA system has a swimsuit competition and no talent competition. So a little bit of a difference, but especially being in Louisiana, I've worked hand in hand with our Miss Louisiana USA, so it's all a sisterhood. But yeah, there are two different types of systems.
Well, I probably should have went that route to take care of those school loans.
Oh yes,
you know?
yes, my dad loves it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about mom and dad, but let's talk about 12 years in a pageant, in the pageant world.
Yeah.
How was that, and how did you get involved in it?
So I actually started competing in pageants in the Our Little Miss system when I was 6. So it was something I knew my mom wanted me to do. I enjoyed being on stage. I always say that being on stage is like the biggest adrenaline rush. You're up there, you're smiling, you're just showing off your personality. So I started competing when I was very, very young, at 6 years old. And then I started becoming involved in the Fleur-de-Lis Princess program, which is a program that the Miss Louisiana organization has for girls ages 6 to 10 years old to be a princess for some of the contestants in the Miss Louisiana competition. So I was actually a princess when I was 6 years old, and I did that for 4 years. So I was able to be mentored by really incredible young women, and I knew that one day I wanted to have that same impact that they made on me to others. And so I started competing in this organization when I was 12. Had no idea what I was doing. I competed my very first pageant in a $20 dress from Dillard's. So pageants do not have to be expensive.
I love a good sale.
Oh yeah, girl, us too, us too. But yeah, I started competing when I was 12. I qualified for the Miss Louisiana's Outstanding Teen competition that year, and I've been hooked ever since. I've competed in the teen program, captured the Miss Louisiana Teen title in 2018, and then competed for Miss Louisiana for the first time in 2021.
I mean, being involved in this for so long, I'm sure there has to be a really close sisterhood.
Absolutely.
There's a bond that you may have built with some of these women for life.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yes, I've made some of the greatest friendships. Girls that I know will, as cliche as it sounds, will one day be in my wedding, just because we've had so many special experiences that we've gotten to share together. And so we continue to invest in those friendships and really just kind of enjoy the moments that we have together through pageants, because we're also bettering each other, because we're challenging one another. Not only are we physically competing on stage, but we're just competing to kind of invest in one another. So yes, those friendships are some that I will cherish for many years to come.
One thing I can say about you is that if Never Give Up has a face,
right?
You were second runner-up, and you decided, I'm going to go again.
Yeah.
And here we are today.
Yes, definitely. It was an incredible experience. That was my first year competing in the Miss Louisiana portion. Like I said, I competed in the teen pageant, but competing in the Miss Louisiana system, it was a totally different ball game. I mean, you are Miss Louisiana week, you're continuously going and going and going, and then at the end of the week, you still have to compete. So for me, I was 21 years old, and I was just like, I'm gonna put my best foot forward, whatever happens, happens, and I'm just gonna enjoy it. And so that was probably the secret to everything, was just enjoying it, not thinking of it as a competition, but really just being there and being in the moment. So yeah, when I was awarded second runner-up, that was like icing on the cake, and then I knew I was coming back next year.
So imagine being up there. We just saw your crowning.
Yeah.
You're in the same space you were in 2021. 2022, you're like, okay, let's do it again.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind when they called your name as Miss Louisiana?
Well, I was shaking for sure, but there was kind of this peace that just came over me right before my name was called. I mean, I was standing next to Mackenzie Scroggs, who was my first runner-up, and I knew at that moment, and I think that's why I had such peace, Louisiana would be in great hands with myself or Mackenzie. So an incredible experience. It's hard to put into words, but I was just very, very thankful that it was me and very happy to live out this year.
Awesome. I want to get into the talent portion. We're going to talk a little bit more about that when we come back. So come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, I'm your host, Danica Long. With me, we have the beautiful Miss Louisiana 2022, Gracie Reichman. And let's talk about the talent portion. You don't hear about this very often, but you were or are a clogger.
Yes, ma'am.
Please talk about this. You said it's really contemporary clogging because in my mind, I'm thinking the wooden boots, but that's not quite the case.
Right. So it's contemporary clogging. It's modern. My Miss America routine was to Elvis's blue suede shoes. So, of course, we had to cover my clogging shoes with blue suede. And then, of course, my sweet mother stoned them. So, very sparkly, very pageantry, what you would think. But, yeah, clogging has been a part of my life for as long as I could remember. I like to say I could clog before I could walk.
Okay.
It's been in my mom's side of the family for decades. My oldest sister is actually my choreographer now. So, we keep it in the family. And at Miss America, I was able to win a non-finalist talent award. So that was really special for me to kind of honor everyone that's poured into my routine and my clogging journey for so many years, to kind of win that award, pay off my hard work and their hard work investing in that routine. So yeah, clogging's very special, and like you said, it's very unique in Louisiana, but I love to do it. It keeps me in tip-top shape.
Were you the only clogger?
No, at Miss America there were two others actually, Miss Kentucky and Miss Arizona. So that was another thing we kind of bonded over. We were like, now which steps are you doing? And
that is so awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
But we kind of shared that at Miss America together.
Let's talk about your family.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's been in your blood, it's in your DNA.
Yes.
Let's take, I'm assuming mom had some pageantry experience?
She did. She competed when she was very, very young, and then both my oldest sisters dance competitively. So I think we all have like a competitive bone in our body. I mean, I don't know what gives that away, but we definitely all are very competitive. But yeah, mom competed, and then of course I competed starting at the age of 6. So we've kind of just invested into pageantry since I was so young, and it's paid off. So that's why we continue to promote this organization and promote competing in pageants.
How does Dad feel being his little girl up on that screen? I mean, I know how I am at just basketball games, football games. I'm louder than maybe most men.
Oh yeah.
But how is that? How was he? What was his response?
Yeah, so Dad is very, very proud, but he's very laid back. Okay. He likes to see the products, and then he'll support us every step of the way, but he knows that this is like my mom and I's like special thing that we bond over. So Dad, he'll show up, he'll cheer as loud as possible. He loves the idea that I've paid for college with this, and so that's why he continues to support. He was
I can be laid back too.
Yeah, he's like, don't send
me,
don't send me the bill for the dress that you just bought, but I'm glad that it looks good. Like that's the type he is. But yeah, he's very supportive, and my dad and I, like, while pageants are my mom and I's thing, hunting and fishing and the outdoorsy stuff, that's my dad and I's. So we kind of bond over that. So being a Louisiana girl, you have to enjoy sportsman's paradise. So that's what my dad and I enjoy.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I mean, and this, I mean all respect when I say this.
Yeah.
You're not just a pretty face.
Oh no, girl. We work hard too.
Yes, yes. And that's what I want to talk about. I mean, when you go into the schools, because I know, you know, the little girls, little boys, oh my God, she's a princess.
Yes.
You know, what is the message you have for them?
Absolutely. So the crown and the sash get their attention, but my biggest message to them, in addition to my platform of Think Twice, Be Nice, which I'm sure we'll touch later, is really just that words are powerful and that they have the ability to accomplish whatever they set their mind to. And I don't think that we can ever emphasize that enough to these kids, because especially nowadays, there's social media playing such a large part in it, so many circumstances that these kids can be presented with. but just really instilling in them that no matter the circumstances, you can overcome whatever and accomplish whatever you want to do. And so that's what was instilled in me at such a young age. And thankfully, I had the supportive family that I do. But even young kids around our state can continue to invest in that motto and accomplish what they set their mind to.
I love it, and we will definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
Once we come back from our break, we definitely want to go into the social impact campaign that you have. So
Yes, ma'am.
come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast. Welcome back. My guest is Gracie Reichman, who is the 2022 Miss Louisiana, and I'm so happy to have her here. We're learning quite a lot about not only you, but about the pageant circuit, you know, because, you know, there's differences between the Miss America as well as the USA pageant, but I'm kind of liking the Miss America, and I'm nothing against the other one, but there's a lot of components of the Miss America circuit. In fact, you have a campaign, and
Yes,
we
ma'am.
kind of briefly talked about it before. Kind
Yeah.
of tell me about your campaign. And is it something that you were just drawn to, or did it impact you personally?
Yeah, so my platform is Think Twice, Be Nice, and it actually started out as an anti-bullying campaign. But if I could wrap it all up and sum it up into one little word, it's about your words. And so when it was an anti-bullying campaign, it was of course focusing on how our words affect other people. Now Think Twice, Be Nice has evolved into how your internal dialogue affects your mental health, essentially. So waking up each and every day and being conscientious and aware of the words that you're speaking to yourself, because I believe as you go throughout your day, how you are prepared emotionally and as well as physically can affect your day-to-day aspects and the relationships that you have in the workplace or with your friends or family. So Think Twice, Be Nice really focuses on maintaining that positive internal dialogue for a positive mental approach to the day.
Right.
So that's kind of what I've shared throughout my years Miss Louisiana is my platform of Think Twice, Be Nice.
I call that the inner mean girl.
Yes.
That she doesn't mean to be a bully, but she can be.
That little voice in your head that you just can't seem to turn off. So I say take hold of it and use it in a powerful way.
Yeah, I love that. But I also love the fact that we were just sitting here talking, and I said, anytime we've had the young ladies, Miss Louisiana, they either come alone or they come with maybe a parent.
Right.
And I just had this in my mind that, you know, you had a chauffeur, a security team, but, you know, you hunt, you fish, you just did, what was it, the bow
fishing?
Bow fishing.
Yeah.
And you're also, you know, Miss Louisiana. I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
you are authentically you,
Yes.
right? I mean, yes, you do all these things, but you're just like me. You're just like the viewers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been my biggest message throughout my years Miss Louisiana, and something I'll continue to emphasize in the next Miss Louisiana and every title holder to come is, while being Miss Louisiana is such a beautiful opportunity, each and every day and each person that you meet, when you go into those schools and you're meeting the little kids or even at community events, they want to know who Miss Louisiana is at her core.
Right.
So be authentic, be unique, share with our state your personality, because that's what they'll fall in love with. They're already in love with the idea of Miss Louisiana, but they want to know who she is. And so as Miss Louisiana, that's something I feel like I've lived out throughout my year. And my advice to the next girl, my pro tip to her.
That's right. I was going to ask you, you know, what do you tell the young women that are coming after you?
Yeah, I think it's just the incredible opportunity. It's bittersweet for me to give it up, but it's also a year of long hours, late nights, long drives. So while you see the glitz and glam and the social media posts or different things like that, but sometimes it can get hard. But even those days that you wake up in the morning, maybe at 4, 3 a.m. and you don't feel like being Miss Louisiana today, when you go to those appearances and you push through, those are the most life-changing experiences and appearances. So that's what I've learned throughout my years Miss Louisiana is you can wake up one morning and not feel like doing your job, but you're changing lives every time you go out there and you put on that crown and sash. So that's what's made it all worth it for me throughout the year.
I hope when you leave KWJ, you say, you know, I just changed the life today. this was a
Absolutely.
life-changing moment talking to Danica. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm enjoying it so far.
oh, awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And this is what it's all about. I said, when you came here, you said, we're just going to sit here and have coffee without the
Yeah.
coffee. It's just us girls talking.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to know from, like, for you, you're going back to school
Yes.
on campus, how do you walk around and I mean, are you back to just, I'm just Gracie?
Yeah,
You
just
know?
Gracie. Life after the crown is going to be so fun. I mean, at the end of the day, people have fell in love with who Gracie is, so I think they'll appreciate me going back to school, investing in my studies, and just being who I am after Miss Louisiana.
And let's talk about life after the crown. So we'll
Yeah.
come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Before we get to life after the crown, let's talk a little bit about your experience in the Rose Bowl. January of 2023,
Yes,
you were
ma'am.
in the Rose Bowl, and we actually had a young woman from Morgan City, and
Yeah.
actually there were young women from all around the state.
Absolutely.
But that's got to be quite an experience. Tell me about that.
It was the most incredible experience. I just came home from Miss America, so we turned around, pretty quick turnaround to go to Pasadena, California to be a part of the Rose Parade with our Lieutenant Governor, Billy Nungesser. And me, alongside my Miss Louisiana's outstanding teen and 20 of our state's beautiful fairs and festivals queens, got to have that experience all together. So it was a learning experience for me because I got to learn about all the different fairs and festivals our state has to offer while showcasing our state on not only a national level, but also internationally. We met so many incredible volunteers. We volunteered decorating the float, so it was beautiful to see our float come to life in a matter of 4 days.
Wow.
So it was absolutely incredible. I probably cried a majority of the parade because it was just a surreal experience.
Yes, right.
And seeing that people literally would camp out the night before the parade just to get a good spot to see the wonderful floats and the design. So a truly incredible experience that I got to have with some of Louisiana's best.
Now, I'm just going to ask you this, and you can be biased, okay?
Yeah.
We won't tell anybody. Would you say that we had the best float?
Oh,
I mean, we're
definitely.
from Louisiana.
Yes. Yes, we had a boat in the street. So,
Yes.
I mean, I don't think
Yes.
it gets more Louisiana than that.
That's right. I'd like to say we had the best float, but I had
Yeah.
to ask someone who was actually there.
Oh yes. It was very beautiful, and we had Lainey Wilson on the float,
Yes.
so that was also major bonus points.
So you got to meet all these people, like, I guess famous people. I mean, you
Yeah.
yourself, you're a celebrity now. I mean, how are you going to move past that? Like, I mean, what is the feeling going to be like? You're like, oh, well, I mean, I had a great time, right?
Yeah,
But,
it was so fun. I think that now, moving into life after the crown, it's going to be, I've cherished this time. I'm going to remember it for a lifetime. But now it's time to accomplish new things, graduate with my undergrad, and just kind of move into a new chapter of life. So it's bittersweet to see this door closed, but I'm super excited for the next one to open.
Tell us what you're studying, because you are at Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, so I have a year left in my undergraduate degree studying kinesiology and health sciences, and I hope to one day attend physical therapy school.
Now, you're from Colfax. That's
Yes,
your
ma'am.
hometown. You
Colfax.
actually represented Farmerville. You were Miss
I did.
Watermelon Festival.
Yes.
Though they're a small town, so
Yeah.
how do the, I don't say townspeople, but
The community.
The community,
Yeah.
how do they feel?
So that's exactly why I love Colfax and I love the Farmerville community, is because of the people that are there. They've invested in me and invested in my journey as Miss Louisiana, and so I've just kind of become like second family to them. So every time I go back, I know that I can go into a gas station and somebody asks me, hey, how's your mom, how's your dad? Because they know me and they've gotten to know who Gracie is. So those are the type of relationships that I'll continue to invest in even after Miss Louisiana, which is what's most special to me.
Right, and I mean, you still have a life. You're going to be going off, like you said, for 2 years?
3 years,
3 years
for PT school.
Right. And then what happens after that?
Yeah.
Because all this love you have for your community, for Ruston, what
Absolutely.
happens after that?
So after I graduate from PT school, the plan is to return to Ruston. I plan on specializing in sports medicine. So the dream would be to work for Louisiana Tech Athletics and their athletes there. I was a part of the dance team at Louisiana Tech for 3 years, so I considered myself an athlete. And so really just investing in their athletes and getting them back to the sports that they love to do so that they can continue to showcase our university. That would be my absolute dream job at the end of the day.
Right. And of course, you know, we talked about this is a beautiful on the outside, but it's kind of grueling.
Yeah.
And along the way, you had your mom, and your sister, they kind of coached you through this. So what happens to them? What do they do after this? Because I mean, they've been a part of this journey for a long time with you as well.
Yeah. So my mom, I think, is going to continue to be a part of this organization just as much as I will. She's going to mentor the new class of women that approach her because she's been my coach and she's been my biggest supporter and my biggest advice giver. So she'll continue to invest in the women that are continuing in this organization.
Awesome. Well, it's going to get tighter and more competitive, right?
Yes.
Because now there's a fitness.
There is.
Yeah. So
yes, ma'am.
I can't wait to have the next Miss Louisiana.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. This was great.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed sitting here talking to you, getting to know you more. So
absolutely.
Make sure to tune in to the Miss Louisiana pageant, which is going to be coming up on June 17th. And from your friends here, we hope you have a wonderful day and please be safe.
Yeah.